5:01 p.m. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Bartleman.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Parker.
Here.
And Judge Clymer.
Here. So we've got all members present, so we have a quorum. We are honored this evening to have a former commissioner, former judge executive of McCracken County to offer our invocation this evening, Danny Orzine. We appreciate you coming. If you'll come up and give our invocation, please. Yep. Yes, sir, please. You stand, please.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. This is an honor. I appreciate it very much. And I'm just going to simply ask the Lord to bless you in your terms and decisions. All right, let us pray. The Father, we gathered here with members, Father, that are going to represent our county, and Father, we're just asking you to bless them in their decisions and their work they do, and watch over and care for them, Father, and the many other elected officers and employees that will be working with them. We just ask you to bless all of them and watch over them, bless our county. And we do thank you for all that we've been blessed with so far, Father. You've been so good to us, and we ask all these things in thy name. Amen.
If you remain standing, Commissioner Bartleman is going to introduce our folks who are here to give the pledge.
Tonight we're honored to have representatives of Troop 1 in Paducah here to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Troop 1, if I'm correct, was founded in 1911. It's the seventh oldest troop in the United States, probably the oldest in Kentucky. They've done a lot of good things over the years. I know when I was a reporter, I wrote a lot of stories about Troop 1 and projects they did and things that they've done for the community over the years. They're led by John Baker, the Scoutmaster. Mr. Baker, if you want to come up and introduce the members.
Our senior patrol leaders.
Okay, all right. You can introduce who's here.
So I'm Keaton, and we have Max, and that's Whitson, Ryan, Will, and Caleb.
Thank you. Now you can lead us in the pledge.
Color guard attention. Color guard forward march. Color guard post the colors. Salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could all scouts and ex-scouts please salute? Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, reverent. Color guard dismissed.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's very nice. Appreciate you coming. Madam Clerk, address the minutes, please. The order.
I move we approve the minutes.
Second.
From the December 26th meeting.
We have a second. Any discussion? No discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Say nay. No opposition. Motion carries. Next on the discussion, we have the 2019 fiscal court meeting schedule. We have it in the packet there. I'm not going to go through the dates, but it's the second and fourth Mondays of each month. We have scheduled it for 5 o'clock. We had some discussions about that. I thought it might be a little better to have it at 5 rather than 6:30. I would like to have had it actually earlier than that, but we're in a courtroom and sometimes there's court going later. But hopefully the 5 o'clock, second, fourth Mondays will work. Let's see.
Need a motion?
Need a motion. Let's do a motion for that.
So moved.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? No discussion. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. There carries.
Okay, who did that? I think that's later on down in the,
As far as who made the motion,
yeah.
I think Bill made the motion.
Okay.
Commissioner Barman.
No, we can do that now. I mean, do we need to wait, or we can?
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's down here, because I was reading through it earlier, and it's down here in the order somewhere.
Now, I'm going off of the agenda that has all the
It
words
was,
in it. It's up in,
It's K.
number.
okay, I knew it was in here somewhere.
Anyway, Commissioner Barman moved.
Yeah, okay.
Commissioner Jones second, and the motion carried. And then, now, I'm going off of the detailed agenda, not the raw agenda, so, and I assume that they'd be consistent with one another, but if you have the detailed agenda, that's how we're gonna run. We have Amanda Melton here, the new coroner. Come on up, Coroner Melton. I understand you're gonna introduce your part-time deputies.
Good evening.
Evening.
Well, I am very glad to introduce 2/3 of our coroner's deputy team tonight. And I think you all know that we've embarked upon a pretty big journey, and I couldn't have imagined it without two very strong and important and smart people with me. So first I would like to introduce Jason Logston. Jason is a Kentucky licensed funeral director and embalmer. I've known Jason since the early 90s, and just for a point of reference, he had red hair and I had black hair at that point, so that should tell you how long ago that was. But he is someone who I trust and I consider a friend, and very stable and strong. He and I worked together at Roth Funeral Chapel many years ago, and were greatly influenced by two former coroners who I think have served a combined 60 years, that being John Barker, the late John Barker, and Jerry Byer. So on a day-to-day basis, we observed how those two gentlemen interacted with the public and protected the dignity of our community members. In addition to that, he is also a youth pastor at a local church, so I'm very glad to be bringing Jason along with us. In addition to that, I have Brittany Freeman to my right. Brittany is a longtime resident of this area, and one of the reasons she was chosen, she came with very high recommendations, but she also has a very strong medical background, and she's an EMT and currently works in dispatch for Mercy. If you've never listened to the radio transmissions, you should, because it's very stressful, and just recently she was on the phone with someone who was performing a full code on her own mother, so she walked her through those steps. She's someone who brings a very stable and calming presence to our group, and I'm very thankful to have her. I'm very thankful also to have this opportunity to just introduce ourselves, and that way we're not anonymous people walking through the courthouse, and we all look very forward to working with you all in a professional and transparent way in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. We do look forward to it as well. Any other comments on that? Next on the discussion, have on the agenda Scott Darnell. I asked Mr. Darnell if you'd come on up, Mr. Darnell, if he would address this body, and for consideration of hiring him as an independent consultant. We'll go into executive session near the end of the program to discuss an outcome, terms, specifics, and whether we do in fact want to hire him as an independent consultant. He's not been heard from and from the community, I think. So offer you to address this body, please.
Well, thank you, Judge. Congratulations to you all, Commissioner Bartleman. I've always enjoyed working with you. New executive, new judge executive, new court. Enjoyed the watching the elections. Congratulations to you all. I'm looking at the different commissioners, and I'll start with the commissioner on the left. Phenomenal entrepreneurial background. Chair of the school board. Really understands. We've been in meetings together. The growth patterns as an entrepreneur, what it takes to actually make a dollar. Has worked for a Fortune 500 company, UPS at one point, but brings a tremendous perspective. And then Commissioner Jones, a trial attorney. The great thing about attorneys is you tell them what you want to hear, and then you better provide the document because they're going to ask you. That's an important perspective, especially when dealing with public money. And then our new judge executive, law enforcement background in the judicial side, as well as a legal background, and a lot of the similar traits of Mr. Jones. But the importance to assist Sheriff Carter in finding ways to make our elected, sheriffs more effective and safe, is a great thing. If we don't have safety in the community, we won't have anything else. And then, of course, Commissioner Bartleman, unbelievable career as a journalist at the local paper, as well as a tremendous background when it comes to legislative affairs. I've been in economic development a little over 20 years. I've done it at the state, local, regional level. I've been in phenomenal communities. I left them always better than I found them. I've got a lot of training, took advantage of that. I'm a certified economic developer. I'm also a project management professional, as well as multiple degrees and other things for the profession. One of the things as a certified professional, we have codes of ethics, like many of you do. I think it's important when you commit to a profession to permit to a level of ethics. There's a lot of them, but the one that I want to talk about first real quickly is, professional economic developers will hold themselves free of any interest, influence, or relationship in respect to any professional activity when dealing with clients which could impair professional judgment or objectivity, or which in the reasonable view of the observer has that effect. That's important. Public-private partnerships, it's been discussed. You discussed it in elections. We're using the taxpayers' dollars. There's nothing more precious than a taxpayer dollar, and that ability is entrusted in you, whether spending an allocation of taxes you receive or the ability to bond and borrow on behalf of the taxpayers moving forward. I started a company. It's called Align PM, Align Project Management. I hold this value. I've done this for 20 years. What I like to do, I'm loving what I'm doing now. I'm the director of PACRO, Community Reuse Organization. I'm running projects. A lot of calls are coming in, but I've got 20 years of experience, 4 of that here. Those projects everybody's talking about, I wrote the strategy, I presented on the strategy. The consultants are my relationships. I know why we win, and I know why we lose. I know how we can move this community forward. I'm not up here to tell you I'm taking anybody's place. I'm up here to tell you I'm a resource. And economic development is a profession. God forbid something happens to me right now, take me to Baptist Healthcare, do not take me to Walmart. Economic development is a profession. I was trained to do this. I started my career in the state of Georgia. The state of Georgia has been ranked the #1 state for economic development for 5 years running. I'm a resource. Again, I take direction from my client. I give my clients the view they want. I allow them to ask questions. I share that 20 years of knowledge. And I try to make complicated things simple. And in a public-private fashion, when it comes to real estate and other things, I want to applaud Commissioner Parker talking about grants. I've done 4 million square feet of real estate development in the public and private setting. I'm licensed brokers in other states, but I'm a resource. I would love the opportunity to work with you. We're committed to this community. We're taxpayers of this community, and if I can continue to help serve the people in McCracken County, I'd be happy and honored to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
I did talk with several parties. We're going to go into closed session, executive session toward the end of this meeting to discuss whether we want to hire Scott. If we do, we've going to discuss the parameters, but I want to make it clear now, and again, if we do hire him, that, as he's saying, is be a resource. We are committed to staying with GPED, Greater Paducah Economic Development. We pay them a lot of money to be our economic development agency. They are on board to handle that. What we want, what at least I want, and perhaps the others do as well, is to have someone who can teach us what to do, what not to do, and that sort of thing, have some background in education and that sort of thing. So we'll come back to him, that topic, after the executive session. Anybody else have any comment you want to make right now before we go?
I think one of the main things as far as when we start discussing this is the background and the education. We're all new, and I think that's one of the big things that'll play into what we do with Mr. Darnell.
Well, I'd certainly want to say thank you to Scott. He has been a valuable resource to us in the last 2 months on a volunteer basis. And he's given us a great deal of his time and a great deal of his knowledge over the last 2 months, and I appreciate it.
You think this time, sir?
I'll have comments to make after our executive session.
All right, thanks. All right, and we're going to have a presentation of a court award at this time. And Sheriff, do we have your deputy jailer here with us? Mr. Scarrett. And Jailer Knight, if you would, you're more familiar with, and if you'd like to address why we're here with Mr. Scarrett today, if you do that, and I think the community deserves to hear. I'd like to hear his story.
Well, back in November, there was a detective over on at Taco John's. I believe it was on, is it the one on Bridge Street? Yes, sir. That got into an altercation with a suspect and lost his radio and was unable to communicate with anyone on the outside world. And Deputy Scarrett here was driving by and saw this officer in this altercation, and without any hesitation or regard for his own safety, stopped and assisted this officer and was able to bring this suspect under control and into custody. So without anyone else getting hurt, and the best of all possible outcomes for the detective and the suspect as well, we were able to bring the best peaceful end we could to the situation. So without him, Deputy Scarrett stopping, there's no telling what could have happened with no communication, and obviously the detective needed some assistance. So we're very appreciative of his assistance and having him within our ranks.
Right. Deputy, would you come up, please? The McCracken County Court Award is presented to people who have done outstanding service for the county. And I read your story in the newspaper, and you're very deserving. I'll tell you, I was in police work, and when I read it, it reminded me of a time when I had something similar happen to me. I had to fight when I was on the police department. I had to fight a person out in the street over 21st Street, and he was trying to get my gun, and I was trying to keep it in the holster, and I lost my radio, and finally they checked on me, and I hadn't, likely I'd killed him or he killed me. And so when somebody steps up like that, it's worth recognizing and rewarding. So McCracken County Court Award states greetings, all to whom these presents shall come. Know ye that in recognition of activities, efforts, and commitment benefiting our community, the McCracken County Fiscal Court presents its court award to Ernest Ernie Scarrett. We confer this honor with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities there unto appertaining. And we appreciate your service. Glad to have you as a member of the family. Thank you. It's fun to do good things. All right, let's see, we have, Madam Treasurer, will you please address the budget transfer?
It is ordered to make the following cash transfers in the amount of $358,964.90 in order to pay county bills approved January 14th, 2019.
And those figures are in your packet. Is there a motion?
So made.
Okay, we got a motion, second?
I'll second.
All right, motion and second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. All right, the motion carries. And I have another, Madam Treasurer.
It is ordered to approve the vouchers claims register from December 26, 2018 to January 14, 2019 to show county bills in the amount of $610,622.53 were paid.
All right. And we have a motion?
So made.
Okay, motion and second? Second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, that motion carries. We have a long list of court orders, I think 58 or 60 of them. Madam Clerk, are you up to the task?
Yeah, I got my drink here, so.
All right, so if you'll start in with the
Try
orders,
not to put
please.
y'all to sleep.
Let me say this, just for those, it's required by law, and I can find no wiggle room around it to do these things in any more efficient manner. Apparently, the law requires that we go through and read in open court, ask for motions, seconds, discussion, et cetera, to approve even the smallest of expenditures, and so seems like following the law is a good thing to do, and so that's what we'll do. So we'll start in. Madam Clerk.
You're ready. It is ordered to pay the McCracken County Humane Society $18,125 for the month of January 2019.
All right, any motion?
So moved.
A motion and second.
Who-
Just, I say, Mr. Commissioner Jones' motion, did you say?
Second, that's fine.
Mr. Bartleman's second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to pay the fiscal court clerk $50 for the month of January 2019.
Any motion?
So made.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to approve the monthly distribution to the McCracken County Conservation District for January 2019 in the amount of $2,446.92.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to approve the McCracken County Clerk's financial statement for November 2018 in the amount of $138,180.76.
Motion.
So made.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to amend Fiscal Court Order D entered on December 26, 2018 to read, it is ordered to accept the resignation of Laurel Anderson, Deputy Clerk in the McCracken County Clerk's Office effective December 21st, 2018.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All No discussion, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to approve the McCracken County Clerk's monthly report of ad valorem tax collection and distribution for the month of December 2018 in the amount of $485,447.21.
So made.
Second.
I have a motion second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to approve the McCracken County Clerk's monthly report of deed transfer tax for the month of December 2018 in the amount of $30,771.45.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? None. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
It is ordered to approve the McCracken County Clerk's report of delinquent tax collections and distributions for December 2018 in the amount of $35,992.43.
So made.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to approve the McCracken County Clerk's fee account budget for calendar year 2019.
Motion.
So made.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that the employment of all employees of McCracken County is adopted effective January 7th, 2019.
Any motion?
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? Let me just throw in that, along with the having to read all these bills that have to be paid in open court and get motion second, there's actually the law is that the county employees who were hired on the previous fiscal court, their term of employment expires unless we rehire them. And so I'm going to be talking, and maybe we all want to talk with Danny Carroll and our other representatives and see if that makes any sense at all, and if it doesn't, do something about it. But in the meantime, that's the law too. So we'll rehire everybody that we hired before, or that was hired before. And so no discussion.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Should we include a list with this, just to make sure there's no confusion? And we can add it to the next meeting if we need to, but should the list of employees be included with this motion?
Let's see, it's all employees in McCracken County is adopted effective January 7. You want to make that as an amendment to the motion?
Pardon me?
Just making it as an amendment to the motion?
Yeah, if we can have an amendment to it that will add a list of all the employees,
Right.
just so there's no confusion, or,
All right. We're gonna make an
and then we
amendment.
can just
Okay.
add that next month, or next meeting when we do that.
All right.
So I'll make that as an
Make that
amendment.
motion. Any, a second on that?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? No discussion. Well, the motion is amended that will, the motion passes with the amendment of including a list of the employees, and we'll get that done then. All right, Madam Clerk?
I think we need to vote on the amendment first, then the motion.
Oh, did we not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To vote on the amendment first?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to vote on the amendment first, and then the motion as amended.
Okay. Any of, all in favor of the amendment to the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And then,
The motion as amended.
okay. The motion is amended.
Aye.
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 All right. Motion as amended carries then. All right, Madam Clerk?
Okay. Now, K is the one that we've already done up there, so as
Okay.
far as the setting the dates for the court meetings.
All right. Yeah,
So-
we've already addressed
Yeah.
that then. Okay.
So we'll move on to L. It is ordered that the 2019 McCracken County holiday schedule be approved.
So made.
Second.
All right, any discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that the title of Vicki Potts of the County Judge Executive's Office be changed from Administrative Assistant to Executive Secretary, and that her salary be increased to $36,894 annually, less statutory deductions, effective January 16th, 2019.
Is there a motion?
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That carries.
It is ordered that McCracken County Fiscal Court enter into a contract with Randy Williams, employing him as McCracken County Road Engineer at an annual salary of $79,739.52, less statutory deductions. The effective date of employment of Mr. Williams in this capacity shall be retroactively commenced as of January 7th, 2019, and shall expire on January 6th.
We've got to decide that it can be a 2-year or a 4-year contract, so it'd be either 2021 or 2023. And I talked to Randy. He really wasn't concerned one way or another. I think he's an outstanding employee.
Let's do 2 years and we can do it again.
Okay, we'll do the 2 years. So the motion is to re-employ for 2 years. Any discussion? I
Made the motion.
didn't get a second. I need a second.
Yeah, I'll second. Did you move?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make it 2021.
Okay, motion and a second for 2021. Any discussion?
I just want to make it clear that's not that there's any problems or that we don't have confidence in them. It's just that we don't know what's going to happen in 2021.
Okay. Any other discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no?
Can I comment on that? I want to commend Randy for the job he's done. I think it's one of the best hires that we made, that Doug Moore and Judge Leeper made that, found him and brought him here. He's done an excellent job. Saved us money on a lot of things he did, and just done an excellent job. I don't hear any complaints out of the road department, and when you have that many employees over there who work closely together, sometimes they kind of chatter and talk, but I've heard no complaints out of that. Randy, you've done a good job, and we really appreciate the work you've done over the last, I guess, 3.5 years. Thank you.
I'll second that. Third and fourth it?
Yes. Thank you, Randy.
And item O, I think we are.
It is ordered that Ben Bradford be voluntarily terminated from his employment with the Coroner's Office effective January 6, 2019.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Carries.
It is ordered that Ryan Johnston be voluntarily terminated from his employment with the Coroner's Office effective January 6, 2019.
So moved.
Have a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Brittany C. Krim be hired as a part-time deputy coroner effective January 7, 2019, at an annual salary of $9,500, less statutory deductions.
So made.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Jason L. Logston be hired as a part-time deputy coroner effective January 7, 2019, at an annual salary of $9,500, less statutory deductions.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Angel Horn resign her position as temporary part-time tax clerk effective December 21, 2018.
So made.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. No. All in favor is aye. No opposition. The motion carries.
It is ordered to approve the McCracken County Sheriff's annual order setting maximum amount for deputies and assistants for calendar year 2019 in the amount of $4,550,000, subject to amendment after the passage of the 2019-2020 McCracken County budget.
So made.
Second.
Can I ask you a question before we vote on that?
Yes.
Is that setting the salary, continuing the salaries at the level set on July 1st, or are these salary increases? Any increases in them?
Do you know, Madam Treasurer?
They have to do a budget, a calendar budget, and they have to set a maximum of salaries that they can't go over during that calendar year. So it's just taking the current numbers and projecting them
Is this the
out.
same amount their budget was when we approved it, 4.5 million? Do you know if it was 4,550,000, or are we increasing that? Do you know?
Their budget's in tonight's work papers.
But how does that compare with the, okay, I mean, we approved salary increases in July for everybody, and I just was wondering if somewhere in there there's salary increases.
Denver actually did those budgets and estimates. I didn't do those, so I did not compare those to see.
Sheriff, can the sheriff come up?
Yeah.
I would say off the top of my head, I believe if anything, they're probably going to decrease just a little bit. Two of the orders on there I know is going to be 2 promotions to sergeants, and I spoke with Pam. I know that if that officer that has gone from sergeant to road deputy, that was about an $8,000 decrease in salary. So from now until July 1st, the 2 increased promotions that are on tonight's docket for 2 sergeant promotions, those 2 salaries alone only increased that by about $5,000. So I would have to say at this time, it's actually going to be under what was projected.
But there's no salary increases I mean, we have a salary schedule, you have a salary schedule, and this doesn't increase the salary schedule is what I'm asking. I know as people move around, if they get a promotion, they get an increase, or if they accept a lesser position, a decrease. But what I'm asking is, are all those positions the same salary as what they currently are, or does this increase salaries?
Well, I think both. Two of the individuals, it's going to obviously be an increase. One will be a decrease. So
That's because they're moving around. But,
correct. But we're going to stay actually under what was approved for the 2018-19 budget for their salary.
if somebody's in the same position today as they were
Yes.
on December 1st, their salary will be the same. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. That's right.
Of course, the key word I think is maximum. So they won't be budgeted
'Cause my office
more
had to
than
do the
this
same thing.
figure, but they can be budgeted less.
It's just basically a formality.
Sort of like the Walmart ad says you
By
save up to
statute.
75%, but in reality you save 10. But maximum, I think, is the key.
Why do we are we setting this because we have to do the sheriff's budget in advance of our budget?
It's because there's a KRS that says you have to set the maximum for the sheriff's office
As
and
well
for
as
the clerk's
mine.
office.
Yeah, there's a statute. It's just kind of, we do it because we have to.
So you get 1 bucket, and how you divvy that bucket up, but it can't go over 4.5 million.
No, that's not correct.
That's not correct?
We set the salaries of all the employees.
Right.
He can't maneuver, as we in the past anyway, the clerk and the sheriff cannot maneuver the salaries, and there's a salary schedule that's been approved in the sheriff's office by the fiscal court, and you follow that. You can't, if somebody in the same position, you can't move money around to give people pay raises unless they're approved by the fiscal court.
Yeah.
we've
This is
got-
just setting the maximum amount it could be, but then whenever it comes budget time, then that's
Right.
whenever the line items, and it just can't ever be more than that amount. But then whenever we present budgets at budget time, then that's when we get into the detailed.
So how do we come up with this figure? What math makes to the 4.5 million?
The sheriff's office prepared this particular order and this budget, but probably looking at history and just projecting out with a cushion in there, because usually in July, everyone will get a COLA adjustment. So assuming there's a 2% COLA adjustment, he's probably built something like that in there so that we don't go over the maximum. Like they said, the actual numbers can always be less than this, but this is the cap on it that we can't go above.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, but there's a salary schedule in the sheriff's office regarding if somebody's in a position, what the salary is. I just wanted to make sure we weren't increasing that schedule at this point, because we'll do that in July.
I'm familiar with what you're referring to in terms of the schedule, the salary ordinance that was passed.
Right.
And there's been no alterations to
Right.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, ready to vote?
Is there a motion?
Yeah, there's a motion and a second. We're ready to vote.
All right, any discussion? I'm sorry. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Carries.
It is ordered to approve the McCracken County Sheriff's fee account budget for calendar year 2019.
Motion?
So made.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, motion carries.
It is ordered that Jeannie Nelson retired from her position as Administrative Clerk with the Sheriff's Department effective December 31st, 2018. It is further ordered that Jeannie be paid for 7.75 vacation days with 8.5 sick days to be credited to the Kentucky retirement system.
Motion?
So made.
Second.
And any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Jared Rivera resign from his position as Patrol Sergeant and will be reclassified as a Road Deputy effective January 1st, 2019 at an annual salary of $48,282.53.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Chris Glenn be promoted to Patrol Sergeant at an annual salary of $49,062, less statutory deductions effective January 16th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Trent Harden be promoted to Patrol Sergeant at an annual salary of $49,810, less statutory deductions effective January 16th, 2019.
So made.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that a bid opening was held at 2 p.m. on January 4th, 2019 at the McCracken County Sheriff's Office for the purchase of 5 2019 Dodge Durango Pursuit all-wheel drive vehicles. Bids were received from Linwood and Bloomington Ford and were taken under advisement.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that the bid for the purchase of 5 2019 Dodge Durango Pursuit all-wheel drive vehicles be awarded to low bidder Linwood of Paducah, 3345 Park Avenue, Paducah, Kentucky, at a cost of $28,910 per vehicle for a total cost of $144,550.
Motion?
So made.
Second.
Any motion second? Any discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that written bids were requested for the repair of an equipment shed at the McCracken County Road Department. Bids were received from White Brothers Construction, Maxim Construction, and L&S Construction. All bids were taken under advisement.
Motion?
So
So
made.
moved.
Second.
Any discussion? No. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that the bid for the repair of the equipment shed at the McCracken County Road Department be awarded to White Brothers Construction in the amount of $16,987.50.
So made.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that $3,144.73 be paid to Kentucky State Treasurer to return the unspent litter abatement grant funds received for calendar year 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? None, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Brittany Blade's employment will change from a part-time employee to full-time employee effective January 16th, 2019 as a caseworker with the Child Support Office at an annual salary of $22,000 per year or $11.28 per hour for 1,950 hours per year less statutory deductions.
So made.
Second.
All right, any discussion? None, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Jessica White's employment will change from a part-time employee to full-time employee with the Child Support Office effective January 16th, 2019 as a caseworker at an annual salary of $22,000 per year or $11.28 per hour for 1,950 hours per year less statutory deductions.
So made.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is hereby ordered that Tim Perdue be hired as a McCracken County employee in his current capacity as domestic violence prosecutor in the McCracken County Attorney's Office. This action is necessary to allow McCracken County to operate as the governmental entity through which payroll and benefit acquisition is administered with regard to the McCracken County Attorney's Office's domestic violence prosecution grant. McCracken County shall conduct the activities of initial payment of Mr. Perdue's salary and the provision of access to McCracken County employee benefits, with all monetary expenditures by McCracken County being reimbursed 100%, in that federal grant money shall reimburse 75% of said expenditures, and the McCracken County Attorney's Office shall reimburse the remaining 25%. McCracken County's total expenditure amount shall be $70,626, with Mr. Perdue realizing a gross salary of $46,800 minus statutory deductions, with his date of hire being retroactive to January 1st, 2019.
So made.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? None, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that $21,616.50 be paid to Barkley Regional Airport, same being the third quarter budget allocation for fiscal year 2018-2019.
Motion?
So made.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? None, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to record the employee claims for November 26, 2018 to December 25, 2018 in the amount of $13,030.96 for HRA FSA transactions.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? None, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to approve the McCracken County Clerk's annual order setting maximum amount for deputies and assistants for calendar year 2019 in the amount of $1,661,290, subject to amendment after the passage of the 2019-2020 McCracken County budget.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? No discussion, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered the first reading of Budget Amendment 2019-1 for funds pertaining to the unbudgeted grants VOCA and VAWA under budgeted federal prisoners revenue and under budgeted sheriff transport fees for fiscal year 18-19.
So made.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion?
Judge?
Yes, sir.
Can I ask what that is that's under budgeted federal prisoners revenue that would pertain to my budget, would it not?
Yeah, when I was looking through some accounts, not enough money which was budgeted in the revenue there, so I'm just increasing it to make it more realistic.
Outside?
Mhm.
Huh? Let's see, where were we? Any discussion, further discussion? No? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to accept the resignation of full-time deputy jailer Dalton Stoner effective January 18th, 2019. He has 2 vacation days to be paid for and 1.5 sick days to be credited to the Kentucky retirement system.
So made.
Second.
All right, any discussion? None. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that effective January 22nd, 2019, Troy McNeely be hired as a full-time deputy jailer at an hourly rate of $12 per hour less statutory deductions, all of which are subject to further order of the court.
Second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that effective January 22nd, 2019, Lewis Runner be hired as a full-time deputy jailer at an hourly rate of $12 per hour less statutory deductions, all of which are subject to further order of the court.
So move.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Deputy Jailer Captain Stephen Carter be promoted to Chief Deputy effective January 1st, 2019, at an hourly rate of $27.40 per hour, less statutory deductions, all of which are subject to further order of the court.
So made.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Deputy Jailer Tyler Davis be promoted to Lieutenant effective January 1st, 2019, at an hourly rate of $17.56 per hour, less statutory deductions, all of which are subject to further order of the court.
Any motion?
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Now we have the department that asked for QQ item to be put on, has asked that it be omitted. Ask for a motion to omit that.
Is that QQ?
Yes.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered effective January 1st, 2019, that Deputy Jailer Maintenance Supervisor Bobby Dennis rate of pay increase from $17.64 per hour to $20.14 per hour, less statutory deductions, all of which are subject to further order of the court.
So made.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered effective January 1st, 2019, that Deputy Jailer Assistant Maintenance Supervisor Chuck Talley rate of pay increase from $16.60 per hour to $17.60 per hour, less statutory deductions, all of which are subject to further order of the court.
So made.
Second.
I've got a question. Sam, can you come up here?
And we've got I think we've got something from the jailer explaining that. You see that?
Well, I got a question on that.
Okay.
In light of the statute that we discovered when we were discussing the coroner's salary, that salaries had to be set by I think the first Monday in May or something, of not only those elected officials, but all the deputies. Can we increase this salary in mid-year? I know we had questioned whether or not we could. Have you researched that?
I've researched that on several different occasions, and actually the way I have to operate in order to stay sharp is to do a brain dump every now and then. But my recollection is that based on that statute, elected officials such as myself and such as David Knight, that salary has to be set by the first Monday in May, and it has to remain as set for the remainder of the term, except for the cost of living and the COLA. The difference with the deputies is that the deputies can be revisited once per year,
right,
at the motion of the elected official. And as far as when those petitions to review salary are ripe, I don't recall there ever reading a particular date. Not like, I didn't read something like between January 1 and the first Monday of May or something like that. I interpret that to mean that during the calendar year, which is relevant. So I would think it would be an okay adjustment at this point.
My recollection of that statute was that it said they had that deputies were included in that, and that I know yours couldn't be increased during your term, but the deputies can be increased once a year.
Right.
And we set it on March or May, whatever that date is in May, and that's part of the budget. And I don't think we could increase it after that time. We can increase it again with our next budget in May, but my recollection of that was it also included deputies in the jailers and deputy clerks.
You know, I like to speak on these things after I've had a really intense opportunity to to research and analyze what's going on compared to other statutory compilations and things of that nature, which I haven't had to do right now. But it is my recollection, and I think it's going to make a key difference on what the intent is behind the deadline of first Monday in May. Because I always took that to mean that the first Monday in May is the drop dead date. Beyond this date, there can be no more adjustments up, down, and or whatever. And so then we get to January the 1st, and it's a difficult situation because, you know, a lot of entities go by fiscal year, a lot of entities go by calendar year. Even a lot of our particular deadlines and timelines are based on a calendar year, despite the fact that we're budgeted on a fiscal year plan. So I think there's enough gray area for me at this point that I would not commit to an answer to say that we can't adjust that guy's salary. I think that we're doing it within the calendar year, which is relevant and prior to the first Monday in May.
Should we pass over this and then take it up, research it, and then make it retroactive if we find we can do that? Or
that's the only way I'm going to be able to give you a 100% accurate answer. I'm fairly confident right now because I remember as it reads, but I'm not going to be able to cite you to AG opinions that clarify it or anything like that, just off the cuff right now. So if you gentlemen want me to do that collectively, let me know. I will.
Well, are you wanting to pass on the motion? I guess we could make it retroactive.
Yeah, I'd like to I just want to make sure that we do it right and we don't do it wrong and cause a problem. I make a motion that we pass over this and let the county attorney research it and advise us at our and put it back on the agenda to the next meeting. If he was being moved to a different position and being given a promotion of some kind, then we can change the salary. But if somebody's in the same position, I'm not sure that we can.
It gets dicey. That's the most complicated and worst written statute in the entire code.
Well, so should it be that way on both of these then?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we pass over SS.
RR as well? No?
You got promoted. The SS and TT are not promotions.
So
They're just raises, right? Is that what you're saying?
that'd be effective on RR for.
Well, RR is not a promotion.
No, you're right. The RR, we've already done it.
Is there a difference between just a pay increase and a promotion and pay increase? I mean, legally, whether we could act, do you think?
That triggers subsection 3 rather than 4. There's different rules if someone is based on the authority that brought that person on. If we're talking about an individual who works in a department, you can change their salary and give them additional duties, kind of like what we saw done not too long ago, Bill, if you'll recall, at the animal control restructuring. But that was a different animal. We weren't talking about an elected official and his deputies. So that can be done, but I just need to be absolutely
I think we need to
certain.
pass over all of those until we are sure we can do it. I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I just want to make sure that it's illegal. Because again, it was clear that it affected the elected officials, and the salary was set on May, the first Monday in May. And my recollection of that statute was it also said the deputies that it couldn't be increased after that unless it was a across the board COLA increase for everybody.
So,
Anybody have any
do we need to
objection
rescind our vote on RR?
Well, I think what we need to do, let's do this. I think the appropriate way to address it on RR, since we've already decided that, would be a motion to rescind that decision on
I move we
RR.
reconsider the vote by which RR was approved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion further on that? And all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
And now I'd move that we pass over R&R and these others
And
to give the
TT.
county attorney a chance to research the law.
That's
The RR, SS, TT.
That's
Move we
it
pass
on
over
that
those
thing.
three.
All right, so there's now a motion then to pass RR, SS, and TT until the next meeting. Let me ask this, would you consider that if it is appropriate, that we make it retroactive to, as if we did it
I think we
today?
can, when it comes up again next meeting, if it's illegal, we can make it retroactive.
Because
You
if
can
the-
make it retroactive to January the
Right.
7th
Okay.
upon the commencement of David's term.
I actually took office December 29th.
Oh, okay. Well, as soon as he was
This says
sworn, he's
January
able-
1 is what's being asked for.
Oh,
Can we make
okay.
it retroactive to January 1 if we find?
Okay.
Right, yeah, we can do that when it comes up next meeting. We
Okay.
can make it whatever date they want to.
So,
retroactive.
so I understand the motion is, then is on the RR, SS, and TT. The motion then is to pass to the next session, next fiscal court, to determine if we can appropriately take that action, and if we can, it'd be effective January 1.
Right.
I'll second.
Any discussion further? No? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That motion carries.
So let me make sure I've got this right on RR, where it was already voted on.
Mhm.
Bill made a
We
motion
voted
to
to
rescind it.
reconsider that. We voted to reconsider that,
Oh, reconsider.
and then the reconsideration was to pass over it.
Right, okay.
RR, SS, and TT. Again, that's not in opposition to these people, or they just need to make sure it's legal.
I'll make sure everybody gets a memo on that.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Sure.
Thank you. Now, we're on UU.
It is ordered that Deputy Jailer, Internal Affairs Investigator David Knight accrued 23 sick days and 25 vacation days prior to being appointed to jailer on December 29th, 2018. It is further ordered that David Knight be credited 23 sick days to the Kentucky Retirement Systems and that he be paid for 25 vacation days.
So made. Second.
Motion second, any discussion? None?
I have a question on that. When we pay for those vacation days, that would be based on the salary he received prior to being appointed deputy jailer, right?
Yes,
Right, it'd be his old salary, not his new salary.
yes.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered that Deputy Jailer Lieutenant Trey English be promoted to captain effective January 1st, 2019 at no rate increase.
So made. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
It is ordered to approve change order number 1 with Cornerstone Detention Products in the amount of $3,000 to extend the locking device, creating a flush mount key entry, total contract amount of $42,010.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second, any discussion? None, all in favor, aye. Opposed, no. All right, that's all of those orders. We move to board appointments. Let's see. Board appointments. Somebody might need to help me.
I don't have any.
Are there none?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, that's just a caption, we got nothing under it.
Right.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why I
there's not
can't
any.
find it. All right, and then the next on the agenda is executive session. And we need a motion to move to executive session.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? we.
I think we need to identify the two.
Yeah.
You need to
Right.
read what those
Yeah.
are.
What the motion for closed session really is two items is proposed or pending litigation is permitted by KRS 61.8101C. And then there are two matters to discuss with issues which might lead to the appointment, dismissal, or disciplining of an employee as permitted by KRS 61.8101F. Any further discussion on that? No? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, then let me see what we're going to have. We will come back from executive session and reveal what we can about that and take a vote one way or another. Two of them involve possible employment positions. One does involve a pending or possible litigation. So we will move to executive session and hopefully won't be too long. All right. Let's see, it's John. Let's see, where's, there
I'll
we go.
second that.
All right, got a second, motion and second to return to general from special session. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. Motion
I make
carries.
a motion that we add an item to the orders to hire Steve Doolittle as Deputy Judge Executive. This is a motion just to amend to add it to the
Okay.
orders.
Well, do we need to, you want to do a separate one on?
We'll do that on a separate.
Okay.
I'll second that motion
So this is just to amend,
to amend the orders.
to amend the
this is adding
docket or the,
It's adding it to the orders.
yeah, yeah. Okay, any discussion?
No.
Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No? All right.
I make a motion, we hire Steve Doolittle effective February 1st, 2019 at a salary of $74,880 a year as a Deputy Judge Executive, less statutory deductions.
I'll
Second?
second that.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That motion carries. Now we need to make the motion to add Scott Darnell.
No,
and
no,
his-
the name of their company.
Align.
Where was it?
Align
Align PM.
PM.
Align PM, ALIGN PM for discussion. Is there a second on
I'll second the motion. We're motioning to amend the orders for that
Mhm.
topic. I second.
that?
Okay,
Yeah.
and I would like to make a motion that,
Well, let me
We
get
need
the
to vote
vote.
on the, added it to the,
Any discussion on that motion to add that to the docket? No. All in favor of doing that?
aye.
Opposed? No. All right, now, your motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we hire a line PM at a rate of $65 per hour to assist the physical court's understanding of economic development issues for McCracken County as permitted by KRS 67.080-683 and KRS 242.160. Check those two.
Any second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Discussion.
Discussion.
We're in a unique situation right now. We have a new fiscal court with majority new members on here. The key issue that was discussed in the campaign, not only for the fiscal court and judge executive and the city commission campaign, was economic development. And it's going to be a key issue for this fiscal court over the next 4 years. And we have a unique opportunity now to make changes in economic development and make sure that we do things in a way that benefit the community and create jobs for the community. Not only are we new here, there's changes being made in the Greater Paducah Economic Development Organization. They'll have a new director hopefully sometime soon. The board members have talked about restructuring the board in some way, which we haven't really been officially informed of yet. We've heard a few rumblings about what might happen with that, but we're in a very unique situation to move this county and city forward in economic development. While I have some concerns about some of the areas we're moving into, I think it is good that we hire somebody who has knowledge to provide advice to us as we restructure economic development. This person, this organization, this company we're hiring will not be recruiting jobs. They won't be knocking on doors. They'll just be advising the fiscal court as we move forward and come to new agreements with the Paducah Economic Development and other organizations. Again, we need Economic Development 101, and I think we're going to get not only Economic Development 101, but I think we have the opportunity to get a graduate degree in economic development by hiring a firm that has knowledge of, intimate knowledge of economic development, not only in Paducah and McCracken County, but throughout the country. This company has 20 years experience in things they've done. And I think that at this point, we want to show unity on the fiscal court for one thing, to move forward. And I think we are unified in economic development being a priority. We may have different ideas of how we should go about it, but I think we need to be unified and approve this motion.
I'd also like to add, if I can, that the money that will pay for this is coming from a grant and not out of taxpayers' pocket, so that's a big plus also.
Well, we're going to apply for a grant to help pay for the cost of this, but we don't know if it's going to be approved yet or not. Yeah. But even if we have to invest some of our own money, it could be money well invested.
Yeah, I would like to make some comments. In the last 2 months, this company, which is a line and owned by Scott Darnell, has been very helpful to me in providing, and I think to all of us here, in providing significant insight and information about our local economy. Our community, it was clear from our campaigns that our community is wanting increased transparency with the effort to grow our economy. And I believe that we're in a unique position in which we can hire someone who's been involved in that process for 4 years and can help us be better educated when it comes to economic development. You know, in 2016, our community made the top 10 list in a competition to land a tire manufacturing company. Would have employed 1,000 jobs. There's 2 things we need to understand and ask. First, I think we should ask, why did we make that top 10 and how do we make it again in the next job? Second, why were we eliminated from the top 10? And I said 2, I guess actually 3 things. We need to ask, what can we do to make us better prepared for that next competition? I want to do this, and I want Scott and his company to help us provide transparency to what has worked, what got us there, and what has not worked. And I think he's in the best position to help us as a community, because it is our economy, to understand our weaknesses and how we can fix them. In the past, our county leadership has largely delegated economic development to PED with a monthly contribution of $25,000 per month. Over our 4-year terms, if we continue to do that, that's $1.2 million, and we're committed, I am committed, I should say, to the success of PED. However, I believe the public is asking this court to be more engaged in economic development in the mission. The PED bylaws, specifically Section 12 of the bylaws, purposely eliminate commissioners from any discussions involving economic development. It's the confidentiality provision. I'm unsettled about the present PED business model, and I don't want to keep doing what we've always done because we've always done it that way. So I look forward to the public conversations that this process might have, public conversations about the mega site, the airport, the status of PACRO and its mission to replace DOE jobs, and the development of policies between our city and a county that encourage economic development.
Any other discussion? All right, we're ready to vote then?
Can we do a roll call vote on this one?
Yes.
Just have it on the record.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bartleman.
We had the motion and second. We're on discussion. Yes, go ahead.
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Parker.
Aye.
And Judge Clymer.
Aye. All right, that motion carries. I believe that's all of our business. Here, motion to adjourn.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
And opposed, no. We're adjourned.
In 4 years.